Hello, my name is Al Ryba, and here's my presentation on healthcare in the US and a proposal to help fix it. Healthcare in the US is a much debated topic. There's a political movement calling for citizens' rights to healthcare. Healthcare is often confused, in my opinion, with medical care. But what exactly is healthcare? The World Health Organization states that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So let's take a look at healthcare expenditures in the United States. The fact is, the United States spends more money than any other country in the world on healthcare. The argument is often made that the US healthcare system is inadequate, but it's clear that we definitely spend enough money on it. Our current trajectory is unsustainable. Even with spending the most of any nation on healthcare per capita, we still have 28 million people that don't have coverage in the United States. So lifestyle. The USA is failing to tap into one of the biggest factors of health and health outcomes. According to the health economist Victor Futch's 1974, the greatest current potential for improving the health of the American people is to be found in what they do and don't do to and for themselves. So lifestyle has the greatest influence on health and well-being. This is now compounded in the internet age, where we're increasingly in sedentary lifestyle. In a new digital world, the population is becoming more urban or disconnected and detached. All current trends today are leading towards poor health. Social media, online gaming, gambling, virtual work, online dating, even grocery shopping and picking up takeout food can be done from your couch. This has led to an obesity crisis. 78 million people, adults, are obese, and 30% of our children are obese or overweight. So what are the leading causes of death? Heart disease and cancer. So 40% of cancer diagnoses in the US have links to tobacco use. 25% of the heart disease is due to smoking. 49% of heart disease is due to an increased body mass index. This is roughly 450,000 US citizens die each year from heart disease that could be prevented. Almost 40% of deaths in the United States could be prevented through better primary prevention. So let's examine diabetes, preventative measures. So it's a debilitating disease. There are currently 100 million of US adults now living in diabetes or pre-diabetes. That's more people than the population of Germany. So excess blood sugar, it wreaks havoc to the entire body. Diabetes is a horrible condition. It leads to damages the eyes, kidneys, nerves, sexual problems, double the risk of heart attack and stroke, can even lead to amputations, blindness, and ultimately kill a person. And the most likely cause of the death of a diabetic is heart disease. So let's examine at the preventative measures. Primary prevention 1, exercise to avoid obesity. So exercise, diet, and medication compliance. A doctor can responsibly recommend and prescribe these preventative measures, but when you closely examine them, ultimately, it is the individual that is accountable for their health. This is a strong correlation between cardiovascular disease and diabetes. 68% of people ages 65 or older with diabetes die from some form of heart disease, and 16% die from strokes. Adults with diabetes are 2 to 4 more times likely to die from heart disease than adults without diabetes. And American Heart Association considers diabetes to be one of the 7 major controllable risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So Americans look for the quick fix. Nearly half of all Americans fail to even see a primary care physician to prevent disease, but instead to look towards a curative or advanced medical intervention. We want to go to the mechanic shop. We view doctors and surgeons as a savior while overlooking the obvious fact that each individual is their greatest health caretaker. It is the day-to-day, meal-to-meal decisions that add up to good health. We spend 97% of our healthcare dollars on curative healthcare services opposed to preventative care. What's my proposal? Incentivize people for taking actions for themselves. The lion's share of money going towards the expensive acute medical intervention for preventable conditions is immoral when those funds could be spent on those people that have no cure, no path to wellness. When having lived internationally, I found when I reflect back on the US culture, we think and measure ourselves through money. How much a person makes, box office revenues, and for movies, it's often political leverage points. And either you make too much money or you make too little money. Americans are money motivated, and it's clear that by the world leading expenditures in healthcare politically, it's also a priority. So incentivizing people to be rewarded for taking actions on their accountability. We need to shift our healthcare expenditures to prevention and to financially reward those to help them and others to be compliant. The money is better spent before someone goes through the pain and the struggle of disease. People complain about the cost of healthcare. So my solution is we make it cost less for those that comply. We have the technology now to keep an active scorecard, just not this electronic health record that you get when you go to your wellness check yearly, well, if you go to it, but the minute by minute that we now are enabled through our smartphone. My proposal is a simple moral argument. It is immoral to take funds away from those that suffer from true debilitating diseases that do not have a clear path to prevention to pay for those that are not accountable for their health and have preventable diseases. Pull the money forward. Is it impossible? So jokes abound about the next diet and the next New Year's resolution and subsequent repeated failures and diet failures. It's common. But what is clear is that when there's a support system in place and there's a community that provides recognition, everybody knows that having a partner to exercise with, either human or canine, are more likely to do so than those that go solo. You'll find that people also eat better when they're eating with someone else. According to AARP, in a survey of more than 15,000 people in 12 different countries, more than half said that friends and family had the biggest impact on their health. People matter. Me, you, them, everyone matters. So we have untapped positive power of community. Smoking, sugar addiction, food addiction is real. Is there a cure for addiction? So during the Vietnam War, it was found that 15% of US soldiers were heroin addicts, and there was a study to examine the issue. At the time, heroin addiction was considered the most addictive substance, and once you became addicted, you're addicted for life. Most people, once they got addicted, 90% stayed addicted. So a study found that the number of servicemen who took heroin after returning home from the US, there was 15% of the soldiers were taking heroin, only 5% were still doing heroin. And so there was like, this is shocking to them. So this led to a study by Bruce Alexander, and it's called the Rat Park experiment. The male and female rats lived in a large housing colony, climbing poles, balls, wheels, open-top carriages, abundance of food and sex. In short, heaven on earth for rats. In both housing spaces, there were two separate liquids presented to the rats. One contained morphine and water, and the other one had only water. So the results of the experiments were astonishing. Alexander discovered that isolated rats consumed significantly more morphine solutions than social rats in the Rat Park. In fact, during one phase of the experiment where water and morphine were presented in alternate days, the Rat Park rats consumed even less morphine than they would have done so in the previous phase of the experiment. And this led to this conclusion, quote unquote, addiction is an adaptation. It is not you, it's the cage you live in. We have an alarming trend that is clear. We are less social and disconnected. It creates more mental health problems. Isolation is unhealthy. The power of community and interconnectedness is critical for health. And you can break old habits, give people a reason to be healthy and live, and create a new healthy normal. We can do this. Here in Austin, Texas, we have an iconic mural by musician Daniel Johnson. It's called Hi, How Are You mural. According to Austin Mayor Steve Adler says, it's a reminder to reach out to our friends and neighbors to see if they're okay. And for those experiencing mental health issues, it's a reminder that you got a whole community that can handle an honest answer, because we want to help you to get the help you need. Simply asking, hi, how are you, can make a significant difference in someone's life. As we recently realized with the Me Too movement, there are underlying mental health issues that are caused by abuse, PTSD caused by violence, alarming numbers of mass shootings. If it's not addressed and left to fester, health deteriorates, and that cannot be corrected on an operating table. The power of community and interconnectedness is critical for health. It can break old habits, give people a reason to be healthy, and live and create a new healthy normal and a new life. We can do this. Everyone has a moment when the words of someone change your life. I present to you Chester Pitts.
In San Diego, there was this grocery store we all went to. Every time I went in there, there was this big guy. Come on. I mean, he was huge. And I asked him one day, I was like, you ever play football? No, sir. I was like, come on, man. What do you play? I know you had to play something. I played the elbow. The what? It's a member of the Woodland family. Okay. You should play football. He was like, really? And I was like, play football. So he goes to the coach. What do you play? Play the oboe. You play the oboe. He walked on. Hi, I'm Chester. What do you know? He ends up starting. He gets drafted in the second round. He was bagging groceries. I got drafted in the 7th round. Wow. This is about my man, Chester Pitts. He's my starting left guard for the Houston Texans. And here's a guy living a dream. Listen to me. He didn't even have the dream until I told him to dream it. And now, we're in the Super Bowl. Kinda.
He didn't even have the dream till I told him to dream it. There are many people who want to be servant leaders and to influence people and feel the reward of seeing someone grow and thrive. Leveraging the digital world to connect people, we are living in a new world and we don't fully realize it yet. Virtual reality and artificial intelligence provides an opportunity, if properly harnessed, to make people healthier, not less so. We have untapped resources, the elderly, empty nesting mothers, college degree people in the behavioral sciences struggling to find jobs that can be paid to be life coaches. Putting more funds towards connecting people to coach those that are uncompliant or struggling in life, to inspire them to be accountable for their health, that they're important, that they matter, and help address those underlying mental health issues. that lead to noncompliance can have a powerful impact on how we help others realize a new life and dream a new dream. Thank you.